Welcome back to a race day vlog. Let's be very proud about the fact I am doing this before the race. I have not been able to do that because it's been falling season and it's been chaotic, and honestly I'm still trying to rush through this because I feel like I've tried to record this 3 times and it's just been chaotic. Anyway, we are going to go up to Horseshoe, Indiana today to watch Mikasa run. Mikasa, for those of you who are new, is my 3-year-old. She's got a sister that I also own who's Peach. Bless you. Actually, though, I don't entirely know if I'm going to be able to go. I have a feeling the answer is going to be no because it is baby season, and I have a mare who's dripping milk and refuses to release her hostage. And ironically, it's my own dang mare, and I have been trying to tell her for a week. I'm like, please foal before Wednesday. Please. She's the only one I'm waiting for right now. It's just her. And so it's 2.5-hour drive there. And let's say we're there for 45 minutes to an hour, plus a 2.5-hour drive back. And that's if there's no traffic or incidences. It's just a little too long to be away from the farm. You know. So I have a feeling I'm probably not gonna be able to go, which sucks, but it is what it is. Anyway, so Mikasa, this is Mikasa's first start of 2024. She did race once in 2023. She was 7th. It was her first start. It was definitely a learning experience. She kind of got bumped a little bit. She got in traffic trouble. She got some dirt in her face. And so, it's just learning experience. And so she kind of was up here at the beginning, dropped back, and then closed. She closed after the finish line. She closed very well, which was a good sign. She just had to kind of get over some of, they're all, at that stage, they're babies. They're all learning. And so, you kind of just want them to have a good experience or to learn something. They don't necessarily have to win. So for this race, I'm honestly treating this as her first race as well, because after that race, we kind of just turned her out, kicked her out to let her finish maturing. And why are we snorting? Anyway, we just turned her out to let her finish maturing and things of that nature, and then we brought her back. So for me, this is also just like another repeat of, okay, it's another first start for her. She's going to be going 5.5 furlongs on the dirt. The trainer did mention that he wonders a little bit if she'll be better on the turf rather than the dirt. There's thunder. It might rain up there. I don't know. They said this rain's coming from Indiana, but I haven't actually checked a map. So it might rain up there too. But I will say she's been working the best out of everybody. So you can check to see what a horse's works are throughout the week. Or they typically work once a week. And she's had bullet after bullet after bullet. For those of you who don't know what a bullet is the fastest work out of that group of workers. So each racetrack or each training center, if a horse works 4 furlongs, works 5 furlongs, works 2 furlongs, the fastest horse out of that group from that training center is their bullet work. Day shift is coming. Anyway, so she's been the only one who's been really having outstanding works in the morning compared to the rest of her competition. That being said, the rest of her competition, there's a lot of horses who have a lot more experience than her. There is a whole lot of newcomers, first-timers, and a lot of these newcomers, they were expensive. Their baby daddies are expensive. Their mamas are nice. They have really nice, expensive trainers, things of that nature. So she's going up against some really good competition. But in all honesty, I just kind of want her to just have a good experience. I'm not expecting fireworks. I just would like her to have a clean trip, which sucks because she's kind of in on the inside. So if she's in on the inside, she really has to break out really fast in order to kind of get to the front and hopefully stay out of trouble. But yeah, that's all. She doesn't need to win. I just want her to have a good go, get the first time jigglies out, things of that nature. Anyway, so I have a feeling I'm not gonna be able to go. So unfortunately, a lot of it's gonna be screen recorded from here. Anyway, so yeah, let's fingers crossed for just a nice, good experience. And maybe if I get lucky, I get to go, but I don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, let's see how this goes.
ready. Often sprinting in the fifth. Sacco Stogie broke slow. A fast start for Alimony. Right there is Small Hollow in the hot pink. And Nobody Loves Me is also on the speed. And Springtown strides up on the outside. Devil of Parody holds the rail. It's Small Hollow, who's taking the lead here for Chase Miller past the half mile from a close-up Springtown. Nobody Loves Me. Devil of Parody is right there in leading quartet. My Word in the Navy Silks is running in fifth. They have just over 3 furlongs to run. Then toward the inside, Just Be Quiet is next. Just Be Quiet, some 6 lengths off the leader. Small Hollow, who's opened up an advantage coming toward the quarter pole on the far outside. Looking to gain ground is Moonfleet. Then comes Sacco Stogie, who's running one from the back. And the newcomer, Alimony, trails as these maiden 3-year-old fillies turn for home, aiming for Small Hollow. Small Hollow's in front at 32-1. Coming down toward the final furlong. Small Hollow has 3 lengths to hold over Nobody Loves Me, Devil of Paradis. Charging Just Be Quiet and Sacco Stogie looking to move up boldly between horses. It is still Small Hollow. Small Hollow with yards to go. Just Be Quiet surging on the outside. Small Hollow and Just Be Quiet for Eddie Perez. Just Be Quiet on the wire in a...
All right, let's break it down. She's in the one hole. She actually breaks really well. She's going to go up front with those front leaders. Just nice, clean, and easy. We were actually worried a little bit about the break because apparently the 2 had been a little rambunctious. And so while Mikasa is a very sweet, easygoing filly, we just, we didn't want the 2 to accidentally duck in on the inside and hit her. But obviously everyone broke great, so that's good. But they're going to keep going. This is a really short race, and so it's only 5 furlongs, nice and easy. And she's going to stay tucked up in the rail up front. And that, too, is about to use all her rambunctiousness to her advantage because she's about to break on top and not look back. She'll get caught at the end. But right now, she is saying, see ya, suckers. And Mikasa's going to hang out second place right now. And they're going to come around the turn. I thought she had a little bit of a green bean moment here. She kind of raises her head and kind of just is like, oh... But then relaxes back down, and now he's going to ask her, and he's going to hit her on the inside once, and then he's going to do it again. And now he's going to switch hands and ask her, and she actually moves up a little bit with that. You can only hit him 6 times, by the way, so there's number 4. And you could just tell she's kind of done. The closers are going to make too much of a move, so he just saves her for another day. But she kept out of any traffic trouble, and she's going to finish right around 6th or 7th. So obviously, I got a little lucky. I got to sneak over to go watch her run. I was hoping if I left, my mare would freaking foal. And yet, she's still holding it hostage, obviously. So yeah, overall, like, I was pretty satisfied. It went about what I was expecting. I just wanted her to just get the first time jigglies, have a good experience, learn something, get some of those XP points before we level up type situation. I think it's important to note the way I typically, this little bug has been driving me nuts, the way I typically go into thinking about this. So for me, and it varies per person, but for me, the first 3 to 4 races, in my opinion, are just, those are the learning experiences. I'm not expecting big hitter wins. I'm not expecting anything too exciting. I just want them to get the experience points, to figure it out, get those jiggles out, learn the lay of the land, figure out what they like, what they don't like, things of that nature. And then after that, for me, is when I'm like, okay, I would at least like to see improvement, And that's for us also to figure out, okay, hey, this horse doesn't seem to like the dirt. Maybe let's try it on the turf. Or if they don't like the turf, let's try them on the dirt. Or I think the race is too short for them. Let's take them a little longer. Or I think the race is too long. Let's bring them back shorter. Things of that nature. That's for us to kind of figure out, or the trainer really to figure out. But for me, definitely those first few races, that's just learning opportunity. If they win, they win. But for me, like, I'm not expecting it, right? There are definitely some horses that they come off right off the bat, like they win first time out, and then you just never really do anything after that. And so that's why I at least like to have that steady incline rather than starting up here with high expectations and then just nothing. So yeah. So overall, I was pleased. It went about as what I expected. It was a good enough learning experience for her. Like I had mentioned, the 2 was kind of rambunctious. This was definitely a he said, she said type thing. Like, I was getting told what they knew. And they had told us, they're like, yeah, the 2 is kind of, she doesn't really like the gait. She can be a little tricky. She's kind of a lot. It was her first start too, so it was kind of like, oh. And so they were worried that she was gonna kind of, when they broke out of the gate, she was gonna, or she was gonna be restless in the gate, or when she broke out, she was gonna take a hard left. And we were obviously right to her left. And Mikasa's a really calm, easygoing filly, and so she really wouldn't care. But we just didn't want it to have to happen. But luckily, everyone broke clean, and that too actually ran a really good race. You could tell kind of when like that little light bulb went off in her head, like she was just going, and then she just took off, and you could just see her little ears. I was like, "Aw, she figured it out." Um, so, uh, overall, yeah, good experience, all that jazz. Oh, and before I forget, because I know someone will probably be confused or whatever. So I call her Mikasa. And you, if you went to look at the thing, you probably were like, I don't see a Mikasa. Like, I see a Devil of Paradis, but I don't see a Mikasa. So I called her Mikasa because that's originally what I was going to have her race name be. And lo and behold, so Jockey Club has a whole bunch of rules, and I got hit with copyright when I tried to use Mikasa. They're like, it's copyrighted, you can't do it. And so I had chose Mikasa after anime and a manga called Attack on Titan, because it was right when Attack on Titan, the manga was finishing and the anime was finishing and everything was wrapping up. And so I was like, okay. And so I think it was the episode itself, not the manga chapter, if I remember correctly. But like a week or two before she was born, the Devil of Paradis episode dropped. And so that is actually where I had plucked it from, because Mikasa is a character from Attack on Titan. So that's specifically where I had plucked that name from, is from that. So I call her Mikasa because she's always been Mikasa for me. And her race name's just Devil of Paradis. My cat is back to try to see if she can open her cat container, and I know she's probably going to figure it out one of these days. So yeah, that's just an example of, a registered official name versus nickname type situation. But yeah, so overall, she did great. She came back fine. I expect her back in about 4 to 6 weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if next time out we see her on the turf, because the trainer had mentioned that he thinks she'll like the turf, maybe better. So, she might be on the dirt, she might be on the turf. It just kind of depends what races are available at the time, whenever she's ready. She could definitely be back at Horseshoe, Indiana. Belterra is opening soon, so is Churchill. But I have a feeling she'll probably go back to Horseshoe, Indiana, unless Belterra is I don't even remember when they open soon. The difference between Horseshoe and Belterra is definitely like she just ran in a maiden special weight, but the maiden special weight purses are higher up at Horseshoe, Indiana than they are at Belterra. So the competition typically is a lot tougher at Indiana versus Belterra, and it's also kind of the same thought process of Churchill. They also have pretty big purses, so their competition is going to be a little tougher. Plus, it's going to be around where Derby's about to, hit off, and so it's going to be right around that time. And so you're going to have a lot of the big hitters bringing their extra horses, and so it's kind of like, do you really want to fight them? Like, do you really, or do we just want to go somewhere else? And so typically the answer is, let's go somewhere else, or it's a little bit more our playing field. Oh, I just bumped the cat. So I expect her either at Horseshoe or Belterra next time out. I expect it to be a little bit after Derby, I expect, anyway. But to add to it, that means that officially it's not just Peach that we have been following and waiting for. So obviously you've been getting about these race vlog videos about once every 4 to 6 weeks, kind of depending on things. Now we also have Mikasa, who is, her sister. So we have her to follow. And to add to it, I actually have another filly that has recently been coming up to the fold. She actually she was in training, learning baby stuff in Florida. She recently came back to Kentucky, and she actually just put her first official work in. And so I fully expect her to be kind of ready to rock and roll here in about maybe 5-6 weeks. So that does mean that hopefully here we'll actually have 3 horses to follow instead of just 1, and we'll have a lot more racing vlogs to do. So that should be fun. We also got it officially, like the thumbs up and all that we are officially going to Breeders' Cup this year at Del Mar, just for fun. When I say just for fun, there is a good chance we have a client that might have horses running, is the whole reason we went ahead and got tickets anyway. Because they're a pain in the butt to get a hold of. So, yeah, that'll be another exciting thing to look forward to. And just, yeah, overall, good experience. I have no complaints. It pretty much went exactly as I planned. And hopefully, we'll have a whole lot more racing vlog type stuff to do in the future. Because I got a whole lot more kiddos ready to run now that it's spring and all that jazz. Anyway, I guess until next time.